Hey people, good afternoon. Okay, so today is really just to talk about the Senate, about these darn tariffs. I'm like, yo, I'm so sick and tired of conservatives who say they are America first getting in the way. Now, last night's episode of Archie's Briefings, yesterday's coffee time, we talked about how the proxy bill kind of halted the America First agenda because Representative Luna and the Democrats decided to team up together to do something about this proxy bill. They stopped that. They stopped the ban of that particular bill, which was irritating. And I'm not going to go any more detail into that because we talked about it yesterday. As of today, though, we're talking about the senators, at least six or seven of them, Chuck Grassley, Rand Paul, Susan Collins, and a few others, just to name a few, are trying to limit the amount of tariffs that Trump imposes on some of our allied nations. Now, this is the issue that I have with this, okay? The specific country that they're talking about is Canada. They don't believe that we should be putting tariffs on our ally, Canada. I find that a bit suspicious. Why do I find this suspicious? Because you didn't say anything about Mexico. Your only issue was him putting tariffs on Canada, and I find that to be suspicious. What is it about Canada that you are trying to so called protect here? That they are our friends. Never mind the fact that they charge over 200% in tariffs on just dairy products alone. I mean, they are not our friends if they are doing this. They're doing very little on the border. This is why the tariffs. We have to stop the fentanyl coming in from the Canadian side, stop the illegal immigration coming in from the Canadian side. They do business with China, hurting American workers and American products, and they were doing very little on this. So it came to this point with the tariffs from our side onto them because they were not being fair. This whole free trade, yeah, no, I'm for fair trade, not free. I'm American. I'm a black Hispanic American at that. I don't believe in free labor. Okay, that's slavery. That's you taking advantage of us. And I'm just a little sick and tired of America being treated like we're the abused wife. And according to the left, that there's something wrong with the abused wife standing up and fighting in defense of herself. Yeah, no, we're not doing this anymore. So these senators who say that they're conservative are continuously halting the America First agenda. I want the tariffs on Canada. This is what the American people voted for. This isn't the first time that you've had a president put tariffs on even allied nations, George Washington being the very first president, not just the first president, but also the first president who put forward tariffs to raise money for the nation, for the government that didn't have to be about imposing taxes on the American people. This one big beautiful bill that we're talking about here includes the tax cuts where we're talking about no tax on tips, which if you are someone who survives on that, that's an amazing thing. No tax on overtime, which if you're someone who likes working overtime, you get to reap the benefits of that. No tax on Social Security, which does a lot of good for our elderly, right? No taxing people who make less than $150,000 a year. This works out from anybody who makes a dollar to up to $145,000 a year before taxes. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And then tariffs, which increases our revenue. Now, here's the thing, you guys, as a Ramsey student, as someone who believes in the biblical financial principles, when we're talking about a budget, there are a few things that you have to do here, right? You list out all your numbers. You review where all the wasteful spending goes. We did that with Doge. That's included in this as far as what we are cutting. And then we have to start talking about increasing revenue. Doesn't have to come from the taxpayers. It can come from putting taxes on these other countries. That's what the tariffs are, okay? We need to increase our revenue. Those are the tariffs. And that means putting it on our allies as well, okay? We have to cut the spending, the wasteful spending. That's what Doge has done. And we have to find ways in which we can pay down the debt as well as increase our savings. That's what we're doing. Now, if you're a Ramsey student, you throw out the debt, not the savings. But if you want to do it both ways, you put money into savings and towards your debt, that's fine as well. That's slightly different than the Ramsey way, but it's something that is tolerable. And that seems to be the Trump plan with this one big, beautiful bill. I'm sick and tired of these Republican conservatives who say that they are for the America First agenda, who got elected, professing that this is what they are about, and now they're getting in the way of this. I'm getting a bit infuriated here. I was losing my mind over the proxy bill so women could be at home with their babies instead of being in the office. Okay. And now, not even just now, this was something that took place last week, and we still don't know what's going on. Now, President Trump has threatened to veto the bill if they do not allow him to put tariffs on Canada. As it relates to the tariffs with Canada and Mexico, this isn't just about revenue here. Like, it's not even just about the money. We're talking about American citizens who've lost their lives to fentanyl coming in from both sides of the border, both Mexico and Canada. But now this is why I find this to be suspicious. What is it about Canada that you didn't decide to try to stop the tariffs on Mexico either? Because, hello, the USMCA deal They're a part of that. Trump has already said that I'm not going to put tariffs on products that are included in this deal. That's fine. So we can keep this trade deal going. All these businesses are coming in. All these countries want to negotiate what the tariffs are going to look like. Canada is no different. They were threatening to turn the power off. And of course, they pulled back on that threat. They are ready to negotiate to figure out what the number is going to be. I'm not in favor of the 0 0 thing. Neither is President Trump. The EU says they are for 0 0 tariffs. No. You want access to the greatest consumers on the face of the earth, you are going to have to pay. I don't like the idea of increasing taxes on the American people so we can get ourselves out of this debt. Like $37 trillion is the number that we're headed towards, and that's a problem. That's a problem. So get out of his way. Get out of the people's way. This is what we voted for. We did not vote on you trying to pass a bill so that way you could be at home with your babies. I guarantee you, Representative Luna, had you said this, you probably wouldn't have won. Chuck Grassley, Senator, Susan Collins, Senator, had you said that you are not in favor of putting tariffs on Canada, never mind the fact that their tariffs are hurting our dairy farmers, okay, you probably wouldn't have won. Like, stop lying to the conservatives. Stop lying to the American people. Stop lying to the workers. Stop telling us you give a damn, excuse my language, when really you're just looking after your own interests. I don't want to hear it's because they are our friends. They are not. You don't take advantage of us in our weakened state, but that is exactly what our allies have been doing. Israel is an ally. We've been giving them money, giving them weapons, all the way back to when LBJ gave them the nuclear deal, okay? And still, they were taking advantage of us in the tariffs. We acknowledged your nation after World War II. We gave you your nuclear deal after the suspicious activity with the assassination of a president. We've given you money. We've given you military stuff. We've done all this. We've protected your reputation. We have not considered APAC to be a foreign agency, yet they were taking advantage of us. Canada gets to make money off of the people, yet they were putting all these crazy tariffs on our products. This is ridiculous. Why can't we tariff Canada? Where are you on this, conservatives? Like, I don't understand. So because they're our friends, we're not going to put tariffs on them. So why aren't you saying anything about not putting tariffs on Israel? Why aren't you saying not put tariffs on the EU? Why not just come out and say you're not in favor of putting tariffs, period, on our allies? When we have more allies in the world than we do adversaries, why not just say that you're not in favor of tariffing or putting tariffs on our allies, period? Because what is so significant about Canada? For me, this is a bit suspicious. Y'all are going to have to let me know what you think about that, because to be frank, this is just, it's suspicious, okay? It's a bit sus, and I don't think I'm the only one recognizing this. That's the first thing, that it is suspicious. Secondly, I don't care for the fact that you have people who are running on the principle of being America first and then still want to put Canada first. Oh no, we can't put tariffs on them. You want to put other countries before your people, not realizing, not that you don't realize, you know that they have been harming the American economy, the American worker. You know this. So why is it a problem? You're going to have to explain yourselves. And telling me that Canada is a friend is not a good enough reason. Okay? I am for President Trump vetoing that bill if they say that he can't put tariffs on Canada. Now, granted, if you want to get the tariffs, you have to go through Congress. This is just what it is. George Washington did this. He had to go through the Congress in order to get the tariffs, okay, to raise revenue. He had to go through Congress. Every president who puts in tariffs has to go through Congress. So this isn't a debate as to does he have the right or not have the right to do this. Obviously, we know he has to go through Congress. That does not mean, however, that you should be going against what we voted for. We voted for him to be there. We voted for him to impose these tariffs. He's been saying for decades that this is something that needed to happen. It's in his book, Time to Get Tough. He's been saying it all through the campaign trail. He said it when he was inaugurated. He said it at the Liberation Day Rose Garden speech. I don't understand why y'all are getting in the way. Stop saying you're America first. Stop saying you want to put forward this agenda when clearly you have ulterior motives. Because Representative Luna, had you said that having the opportunity to vote proxy for your newborn babies was something that you were advocating for, you probably wouldn't have won. Had Chuck Grassley and Susan Collins and Rand Paul said that they were going to try to limit the amount of tariffs Trump was going to impose, you probably wouldn't have won. So You need to be more honest. You need to stop getting in the way. This is what we voted for. Stop trying to circumvent what the people voted for. It's irritating. I'm annoyed because this is what we voted for. Okay. And he only has 2 years to really figure this out before midterms. He has to show that he can strengthen the economy, increase the revenue, bring down the debt, increase domestic production so we can take care of our own rather than relying on the rest of the world. We are headed towards not just independence, but dominance. And you're getting in the way of that. Stop trying to act like you're our friends. Stop saying to me that Canada is a friend. Sorry, but with friends like these, who needs enemies? Who needs enemies? I don't see you saying nothing about Mexico. I don't see you saying nothing about Vietnam. I don't see you saying nothing about Israel. But you got something to say about Canada? Why? What is significant about Canada? That you don't want to put tariffs on this friend, but you're okay with tariffs on all the other ones. You got to explain that to me because I'm not getting it. Maybe I'm missing something. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what I'm missing because I feel like I'm missing something here because it's a bit suspicious. Okay, why are you in favor of putting tariffs on every other ally but Canada? Don't tell me it's because they are our friend. Don't tell me it's because they are a neighboring country because so is Mexico. Are they trying to prevent the tariffs on that as well? Because if the answer is yes, then yet again, we have the same problem, don't we? Y'all are not America first. You're not in favor of getting out of this debt. You're not in favor of increasing the revenue. You're not in favor of protecting the American people. And this would be a lot easier if you would just be honest and say that. Clearly, they're not trying to do that. You get in the comments, let me know. Am I missing something here? Because I'm sick and tired of these so called America First conservatives who are clearly not getting in the way of the agenda. Stop halting the progress. Stop halting the plan. We want it done. We are on a ticking time bomb and things need to be dealt with. He's trying to deal with that. Let him. Let him do his damn job. Okay? Let him negotiate the deals. Let him play this game. We got to see it through, okay? Canada is ready to negotiate and y'all come out and say that you want to stop this. They were ready to negotiate and then you want to block it. What do you mean? That we had them exactly where we want them and you're showing division. Stop it, cut it out. And it's not to say that we're not divided already between the conservatives and the Democrats, but we certainly don't need this among our own ranks. We should be closing ranks, okay? We need to be circling the wagons and making sure that we put ours first. Stop getting in the way. Move on with your day. Just tell us the truth and then we can go on. Like, it's frustrating. Get in the comments. Love you guys. I'll see you later today on an episode of Archie's Briefing. So let me know. I'm gonna go heat this because it's cold. Like it's cold. I gotta go heat this. Like OD. Love you guys. See you later. Kepla.